You know, I've been a fan of this team for a very long time, and one of the biggest things I have learned is you never know what the heck you're gonna get with this team from one night to the next. So, little fun fact here, I don't have any notes because I didn't watch this game pretty much at all, and it's probably a good thing I didn't because the World Series was on again. By the way, Blue Jays won. I do want to point that out. I am wearing my Guerrero Jr. jersey once again. So World Series is tied 2-2. That's the good news, right? I, I said something along the lines of I never get too happy during a win, even if it's a blowout win. I said something like that during each of my last two reviews. This is why. Because they'll go out the very next night and do this. That's why I never get too excited over one win, right? Or two wins, I guess, in this case. But boys, oh boys, I'm just gonna say I'm glad I did not watch this one. Again, I was flicking back and forth between the games as much as I could, but um, yeah, in total I saw maybe 10 minutes. I saw one of the goals, but yeah, this is a rough one, isn't it? So we're just gonna get into it here. So Tuesday, October 28th, the Ottawa Senators played their 11th game of the regular season against the Chicago Blackhawks at the United Center in Chicago. It was a weird start time. It was a 8:45 Eastern start time. I know time zones and everything, it's all weird, but and it's funny too because 11 is my favorite number for those of you who don't know. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe lucky 11 tonight. No, no lucky 11 tonight. So it was Linus Allmark. We're going to be talking about him a little bit. Linus Allmark starting for the Sens and Spencer Knight starting for the Blackhawks. So the Sens were 5-4-1 coming into tonight, and the Blackhawks, they've been playing well. They were 4-3-2 coming into tonight. And like I said, I have no notes. I'm just going to go off how I feel and what I know, and maybe it'll be better that way. So, I just literally, you never know what you're going to get with this team. They score 7 last night, and then tonight, the very next night, they give up 7. Make sense of it. Now, I know, back to back nights, I know it's going to play an effect, but I don't think it should be this drastic. I don't think you should be winning 7-2 one night and then losing 7-3 the next night. I don't think. And yeah, Chicago's been playing well, but it's not like they're a powerhouse right now. They're not at the top of the standings. But what the heck, man? Like, seriously. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down whatever the heck this game was. Again, I didn't watch it, and I'm kind of thankful I didn't. Oh boy. So the Chicago Blackhawks defeat the Senators by a score of 7-3, and the Sens drop. They're back down to 500 now. They are 5-5-1, and the Blackhawks, like I said, they've been playing well. They are now 5-3-2. They've got points in 7 out of 10 games. So hey, good on them. They've been playing well. So we'll look at the stats here, and this game, it might sound strange, but this game was actually a bit more even than one might think when you look at the score. There was one major difference, and if you look at the stats, well, you can tell what that was, right? We'll get to that though. So, the shots, very even, 26-24 in favor of Chicago. And face-offs, this is nothing new. Sens once again dominating in the face-off dot, 56.3% compared to 43.8% for the Blackhawks. Power play was non-existent tonight. So again, it's like, oh my, just so inconsistent. And like I know you're gonna find inconsistency with every team, but it just seems to be so like so drastic with this team all sometimes. You know what I mean? Cause like last night they were what was it 4 for 5 on the power play, and now tonight they're 0 for 4. Like I it's just so strange. Again, I know back-to-back nights, but it shouldn't have that drastic of an effect, I don't think. But what do I know? Um, Chicago scored on their only power play, so they were 1 for 1. So hey, there we go. The phenomenal penalty kill back at it again. Oh boy. Penalty minutes were 22-16. Sens having the fewest. There were a lot of hits. Hits were 34-32 in favor of Chicago. Block shots were 17-15 in favor of the Sens. Giveaways 12-9 with the Sens having the fewest, and takeaways were 10-3 in favor of Chicago. And these two teams will meet again on December 20th, and that will be the second and final meeting of the season. And fun stat here, random stat. This was I'm trying to think what they said now. I think the Sens have won once in their last, was it 14 trips to Chicago or 15 trips? Basically one win in Chicago in the past like 10 years. So I don't know what's up with that. Apparently they just can't win there. So tonight was no different, right? So yeah, like I said, I literally have no notes at all. I got nothing. So I'm just gonna go through the scoring summary. We'll go through the three stars and all that, and we'll see what the heck happened. Because again, I wasn't really watching too much of it. So yeah, so we get into it. Somebody had a very big night, by the way. I'm sure a lot of people have probably heard about it. So yeah, we go into the first period here. The first goal comes at the 6:47 mark of the first period by Colton Dog, assisted by Lewis. I'm not sure if Lewis, if that's how you say his first name, or if it's Louis. I'm gonna go with Lewis, but if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me on that. But Louis Crevier and Nick Foligno drawing the assist there. So once again, the Sens allow the first goal. This is nothing new. They have scored first twice this season, three times, I think twice. So nothing new, right? So the Blackhawks go up 1-0. And then at the 12:06 mark, the Blackhawks would score again by Louis Crevier scoring this one, assisted by Jason Dickinson and Alex Vlasic. And Chicago goes up 2-0. So it's like, okay. And again, this game started well after game four of the World Series started, which is where my main focus was. So again, I'm looking at the score on my phone, and I'm like, oh hey, it's 2-0. And when that first goal went in, I'm thinking to myself, oh surely that'll be fine, right? Because I'm not watching, because usually they tend to win when I don't watch. That was not the case tonight. So the third goal for Chicago came at the 17:53 mark of the first period, and it was scored by Connor Bedard. Oh, it's not the last time I'll be saying his name tonight. Yeah, so Connor Bedard scoring on the power play from Andre Burakovsky and Frank Nazar, and that made it 3-0 Chicago. So they're up 3-0 going into the first intermission, so it's not looking great, obviously, right? So we roll into the second period, and at the 2:58 mark of the second period, it is Connor Bedard again scoring from Matt Grzelcyk and Levshunov. I forget what Levshunov's first name is. I should probably know this. I forget what it is, but it starts with an A. I'm looking at the NHL site, it says A. Levshunov. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. I forget what his first name is, and I feel kind of bad. I should probably know this. But anywho, that goal would make it 4-0 Chicago. So I'm like, okay, this is great. Yep, okay, game over. And again, I'm not watching, right? So then, about 2 minutes, actually exactly 2 minutes later, the Sens would score. Jake Sanderson would score at the 4:58 mark of the second period from Drake Batherson and Tim Stützle. That is Sanderson's second goal of the season, so that made it 4-1. So I'm like, okay, hey, no shutout, right? So cool, whatever. But then, at the 7:09 mark of the second period, Michael Amadio would score his second of the season from Artem Zub, so that made it 4-2. I'm like, okay, all right, they're going to make a comeback maybe, right? And then, about a minute and a half later, a little less than that, at the 8:31 mark of the second period, Tim Stützle would score his fifth of the season from Nicholas Manpolo and Drake Batherson, and that made it 4-3. So I'm like, holy cow, are they actually going to come back here? This is what I mean when I said earlier, like, you never know what you're going to get with this team. Like, they came out flat clearly, again, I'm not watching the game, right? So I'm just going by the stats and the numbers. They come out flat, go down 4-0. They come back to make it 4-3, and you see what the final score was. It just, this team drives me nuts sometimes. I love them, but man, they drive me nuts sometimes. I tell you. So we go into the second intermission, and Chicago's only up by 1. So I'm like, okay, maybe they'll make a comeback, right? They didn't. They did not. So the first goal of the third period, 3:46 into the third period, a certain somebody scored their first career hat trick. And that somebody is Connor Bedard. Because why the heck not? Green drawing the assist on this one. So yeah, Connor Bedard scoring his first career hat trick. Why wouldn't it be against Ottawa? I mean, the guy's insane. I mean, what can you say, right? I don't feel bad about giving up a hat trick to him. So it's definitely not going to be his last. But yeah, that made it 5-3 Chicago. And then at the 8:24 mark of the third period, so about 5 minutes later, Ryan Donato would score his 6th of the season. Bedard also has 6 goals on the season now. Bedard would also get an assist on this goal, as would Burakovsky, so that made it 6-3. And then right at the end, well, not really at the end of the game, but 12:44 into the third period, there was actually a shorthanded goal. It was an empty netter. Wait, is that a typo? I don't know if that's a typo. It says Frank Nazar scored a shorthanded goal, empty net, with 12:44. I don't know. 12:44 of the period. Again, I wasn't really watching, so I don't know. But Nazar would score shorthanded, and Foligno getting the assist there made it 7-3, and that was your final. So I, again, can't really say too much about it because I wasn't watching the game at all. I did watch like the final bit, but I saw one of the goals. I believe it was the Donato goal, the goal that made it 6-3. That was the only goal I saw. Oh, actually, no, hang on. No. I also did see one of Bedard's goals. I forget which one it was. It was the one where he kind of went coast to coast. Was it the power play goal in the first period? I honestly, I genuinely can't remember. I saw one of Bedard's, the one where he went like coast to coast. Basically, yeah, I saw that one too. But nonetheless, the Sens do lose. Not even close. 7-3. So getting into the 3 stars, I think we know who number 1 is, obviously. Connor Bedard with 3 goals and an assist, a 4-point night for Bedard. And Nick Foligno is the 2nd star, former Sen, with 2 assists, and Louis Crevier is the 3rd star with a goal and an assist. Yeah, I'm just thankful, kind of thankful I didn't watch this one, to be honest, because, yeah, I probably would have been losing my mind. So we'll go into the box score here. I know the plus minuses are going to look very ugly, but, well, maybe they're not as bad as I thought they would be. But our point getters for the forwards, Stützle he's been starting to light it up lately, which is really good to see. So he had a goal and an assist, and he was a +1 in a 7-3 loss, which is nice to see. Batherson had 2 assists, and Amadio had a goal. And for the defense, we've got Zub and Matt Paulo with 1 assist each, and Sanderson with 1 goal. So the plus minus, well, I guess the plus minus is actually not that bad. Oh, that's interesting. There was only 1 power play goal. There might be some typos here, I don't know. There was only 1 power play goal, but every defenseman was -1. Except for Matt and Paulo. Matt and Paulo was even. So, okay. I mean, 7-3, the fact that no defenseman is worse than -1, that's kind of crazy. Forwards are a bit of a different story, though. Lixell was a -3. We've got Zetterlund, Perron, Eller, and Dylan Cousins all at -2. Then we got Pinto, Giroux, Gregg -1. And Stützle, as I mentioned, Batherson and Nick Cousins were all +1. So again, the fact that we're seeing pluses in a 7-3 loss is kind of crazy. Block shots, Nick Cousins having the most blocks among forwards with 2. And block shots, a lot of block shots for the defense. They had 17 in total tonight. Clevin and Sanderson each having 4 that led the defense. And for hits, Clevin had the most hits for the defense with 4. And the most hits for the forwards, again, it's Dylan Cousins with 5. And I don't want to look at this, but I have to. I do have to look at Allmark's numbers. Yep, he stops 19 out of 25 for a 760 save percentage. Boy, oh boy, just like I said, this team, you never know what you're gonna get with them, man. Like, they score 7 last night, and then they allow 7 the very next night. And yes, I know, it's a back-to-back, it's gonna have an effect, obviously, but I don't think it should be this drastic. I mean, oh man. And again, like I said, right near the beginning, this is why I never get like too excited about one win, because they can go out the next night and have a performance like this. So again, the thing is, when you look at the stats and the numbers, it was even. It was actually quite even. I think goaltending clearly made a difference. Allmark is just, man, he can be so much better. I know he can. We all know he can. But it's just that inconsistency, right? Because, I mean, he goes out tonight and has a 760 save percentage, so that's not ideal. But, it's still early. I feel like I'm not going to be able to say that for too much longer. We're 11 games in now, but, they're at 500, and the standings are close enough. I can actually pull these up real quick here. This will just take 2 seconds. So, right now, the Sens are they're actually tied in points for the final wild card. Yeah, like this is just insane how close it is. So, out of all 10 teams in the wild card in the East right now, so Washington has the first wild card, right? They have 12 points. At the bottom of the East is the Islanders. They have 9 points. So you've got 10 teams separated by 3 points. It's crazy. It's crazy when you look at it. And like, you can take it a step further. Toronto is 3rd in the division. They have 11 points with the same as the Sens. Like, it's so insanely close. So like, there's no reason to panic right now. It was a bad game. It was an off night, clearly. And they're going to look to bounce back big time. And speaking of, I do want to check one thing here real quick. Okay, just wanted to confirm something. Speaking of, their next game is Thursday, October 30th, a 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time against the worst team in the league right now, the Calgary Flames. So, talk about a good opportunity to bounce back. This would be a good time to do it. So, they have been struggling, Calgary. They are 2-8-1 on the season. And they are 1-5 on the road. So, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to bounce back. This team has been struggling, so we will see what the Sens can do. So, yeah, once again, I have no notes. By the way, that Calgary game, I will actually be able to watch this one because there is no World Series game that night, so I can have some actual notes. And also, one little side note here. The Sens play on Thursday against Calgary. They don't play on Friday. Then they play on Saturday against Montreal. So Saturday night, if the World Series does go to a Game 7, then it would be the same deal. I won't be able to watch the game. But after that, I'll be able to watch every other game. Unless I'm busy with other stuff, which I might be, but more on that later. But anywho, yes, that is it for this one. Rough night, obviously. 7-3 loss to Chicago, and the Sens are back at 500. They are 5-5-1, and just gotta find that consistency, right? Like, again, you score 7 one night, then you give up 7 the next night. It's not really a recipe for success if you ask me, but again, at the same time, as much as I don't overreact to one giant win, I'm not going to overreact to one giant loss as well. So, yeah, again, the Sens are playing the worst team in the league in their next game, and they're going to be looking to bounce back. So hopefully they can do that, guys. But I am going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching, and go Sens go.